Hi everyone, this is Brian Hayes, and welcome to Volume 2 in our series on mouthpiece buzzing aids. Today I'd like to introduce you to this rather special little device. It's called UPSOUND. I'll just let you have a good look at that. It has a metal lead pipe and the rest of the device is made of hard plastic and a nice soft rubber hand grip there. This is the trumpet version. It comes in a variety of different versions for French horn, flugel horn, cornet, trombone, short and long shank trombone. But this is the trumpet version. I'll just put in my trumpet mouthpiece here. And if I play a song on the mouthpiece through the UPSOUND, this is the sort of tone that's produced. Now, in comparison to the open mouthpiece tone, if I just play that same melody, you can hear that there's quite a difference in tone. It's a warmer sound, it's a much quieter sound, it's more or less a semi-silencer, even though the objective of the UPSOUND is to reproduce the blowing feel and, I guess, the sensation in your embouchure of actually playing the instrument, in this case the trumpet. And it actually, to my mind, does it probably better than any of the other buzzing devices that I've tried. We're all different, and certainly the sensation of playing through, for example, a lead pipe is a much more looser feel on the lips. And that has its own goals. If you're playing very tight in the embouchure, certainly playing through just the lead pipe will really loosen up your lips. It's interesting with the UPSOUND that you get the sensation, or at least when I'm doing it, that you're just blowing through a hole in your lips, which is, as I understand it from talking to some of the best players in the world, and I've had some wonderful trumpet lessons off of Adam Rapa and people like Marvin Stamm, people like Jim Manley, just amazing players, Greg Spence here in Australia. If you talk to the full-time professional trumpet players, they certainly say that playing the trumpet is in many ways the opposite of going even though that has its own purposes. And if you look online, there's a wonderful trumpet tutorial by the late great Clark Terry. It was recorded, I think, in about 1980. It was originally released as a VHS video, and about halfway through that trumpet course, Clark does just some amazing free lip buzzing and mouthpiece playing. And he certainly, in that demonstration, probably demonstrates exactly what half of the trumpet world tries to avoid, and that is high-pitched lip buzzing and higher-pitched mouthpiece buzzing. But I think anyone who's fair would have to say that Clark Terry's sound on trumpet and flugelhorn was absolutely one of the most open, fluent, excellent sounds on trumpet or flugelhorn that the world's ever heard. So for Clark, he found that tight lip buzzing and high-pitch mouthpiece buzzing was what he recommended. There are many, many players who recommend the opposite and everywhere in between. So I don't want this video to be a debate on whether buzzing a mouthpiece or playing a mouthpiece is a good thing. I'll just say that Arnold Jacobs, in this wonderful book Song and Wind, and Arnold Jacobs was one of the world's most famous brass teachers, played tuba in the Chicago Symphony Orchestra through its peak for many, many decades. In this book, Arnold talks about that he also played the trumpet, and for a period of a number of months he was hospitalised, and he played the mouthpiece daily while he was in his hospital bed. And when he finally got out of hospital, he said, he'd never played the trumpet like it before in his life. So Arnold Jacobs was a lifelong supporter of playing the mouthpiece, but notice that I said playing the mouthpiece. Buzzing the mouthpiece, I guess, is what we all think of doing, but it's best if you think of just playing songs. And Arnold Jacobs talks a lot about the seventh cranial nerve, how the brain sends messages to your face muscles. So, if we're playing a melody on the mouthpiece rather than buzzing the mouthpiece, the minute we say buzz, we think we're going... But really, if we want to play that melody on the mouthpiece, we really don't do that blowing raspberries technique. My recommendation is that you just hear the song, da 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 da, and then let your brain try and recreate that sound, singing that sound, playing it on your mouthpiece, not buzzing it on your mouthpiece. Treat the mouthpiece, and in this case the mouthpiece linked to the up sound, as a musical instrument. You can play all the 12 chromatic tones, the semitones, the 12 semitones of a chromatic scale on this device. Depending on what your range is, you might be able to play at least an octave, maybe an octave and a half. If you've been playing trumpet all your life, you might be able to play 3 octaves. Good on you. I think it's important to not get caught up in the loop that you have to be able to buzz the pitch that you want to play on trumpet on your mouthpiece. I was honoured to have a number of lessons off the great Jim Manley via Skype, and Jim's not a believer in mouthpiece playing. He himself personally doesn't do it, but as every aspect about Jim and his teaching is, he's incredibly open. As he said, if it works for you, do it. Jim's got the highest trumpet range I've ever heard anyone demonstrate, and he does it with less effort than I've ever heard anyone demonstrate. Jim openly says there's no way in the world he can play on his mouthpiece anywhere near the pitches that he can play on the trumpet, and that's good enough for me. So don't get caught up in the concept of necessarily trying to buzz a double high C or even a high C on your mouthpiece. Just play the tunes in the comfortable range for you at the moment, and certainly that's what Arnold Jacobs was about. Just playing melodies, not worrying about what key you're playing it in, just playing songs on your mouthpiece. Let's have a closer look now at what makes the up sound a little bit different as far as a buzzing tool device. The first thing that is different is a metal lead pipe. So this is a trumpet lead pipe that fits into the up sound. Now when you play your mouthpiece, if you just play your mouthpiece standard and then put it into that metal lead pipe, which extends at about 2 inches, the tone changes slightly, but you've still got the hard resistance of the mouthpiece, the hard to blow through feeling of the mouthpiece, and feeling your lips being quite having to fight quite hard with the mouthpiece. Inside of this up sound, this is made of hard plastic. In here you've just got an empty container with a hole drilled at the end of it. You can see that hole down the end of that. It's quite a deep container, so that's just full empty container where the air can escape at the back. And I guess the hole at the back of that container is, it's smaller than the end of your mouthpiece, but it's quite significant. It's a bigger hole than on many buzzing devices, buzzing aids. The magic on the up sound really happens here. So there's this metal filter that screws in here. So this is just a hole like a clarinet barrel, really. So you've got a wide container there that's about, I suppose, I don't know, an inch more than an inch wide, but the hole through the centre is only about, a centimetre or what have you. But I think this is the magic here. This is a little resistor. It's made of metal. You can't see through it. It's got a little filter screen on the outside. If you blow into it, it's quite hard to blow, but you can feel air coming out. You can feel air coming out on the sides of this unit, which means that the sound when you play is being diffused sideways in this container, bouncing around everywhere like it would in an instrument, and then ultimately the sound comes out of that hole. This, I think, is the thing that makes the unit quite unique. And my experience with playing this unit is that after you spend some time playing on the up sound and then play your trumpet, for me anyway, it's the best sound I ever get and the most effortless sound I ever get. So, say for example, I was playing an exercise where I went like this. And if I did that, I don't know, maybe for 20, 30 times, then picked up my trumpet, allowing for the normal thing of, you know, giving your lips a little bit of a chance. It's no different than playing your horn. It's not a matter of trying to play 24 hours non-stop. But just the feeling of the lips being in the right position, for me, this has been the closest that I've found on all of the buzzing devices, where when I then pick up the trumpet, it feels the same. In fact, it feels better than had you been sitting on the trumpet there going da, 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 da for 20 or 30 times. By doing it maybe 10 times on this device, you get the effect as if you've been doing it on the trumpet for 50 or 60 or 70 repeats of that exercise. Just the improvement in your tone. So I can't speak highly enough about the up sound via Stomvi. If you're interested in playing the mouthpiece and exploring what combination of devices helps you get the best results from your mouthpiece practice, please include this one in your list. I don't think you'll be disappointed. It's quite expensive. It comes from Spain. It's probably the most expensive of all the buzzing aids that I've featured in these tutorials, but I think it's worth checking out. I hope you've enjoyed that review of the Stomvi Up Sound. It's a fantastic device to add to your kit bag to become a better brass player. As always, keep in touch via my website. That's www.brianhayes.biz. Subscribe to my YouTube channel and drop me an email if you have any fundamental questions about basics for brass. Bye for now.